Alright, 2 days out of my live show. I wanted to do this vlog just to say what's on my mind on my vlogging channel. That's what I use this channel for, is the vlog. And there's a couple situations going on. So I got my show coming up. It's my first live show. It's a 2-hour show. I'm a little nervous about lasting that long with my voice for 2 hours, but I do have instrumentals, so that's going to help me out, and I have my talk box. So that's pretty cool. I did a rehearsal last night. It was good, and I'm learning the power. I'm relearning the power of rehearsal. So growing up as a kid, I would hate going to rehearsal because I was doing something that I was sort of more or less told to do, and I was too young to understand, or to understand the level why I want to rehearse to be in church service worshiping God. You know, I was like a kid, okay, God's cool, worship Him, okay, but you're making me go to rehearsal, and it was more of a chore than a fun thing. But now when I look at rehearsal, now things have changed. Now when I go to rehearsal, I have a bone to pick with it when I do it with other bands, because it means that I have not fulfilled what I want to do for myself as a musician, artist here in this city. So every time that I go rehearse somewhere else for somebody else, probably the devil's in my ear or something telling me, you know, what about your stuff, you know? And oftentimes for me, I just didn't feel confident enough to push harder to get my own shows and more performances, or when I did do it, oftentimes it was a bad experience because of perspective, or I didn't know how to brand build at the time. So, but now for me, rehearsal is powerful because that's what prepares you for the show. That's what prepares you to record. That's what prepares you to all of that. So for me, and here's the thing, because this is something I want to do, this is something I want to rehearse for. This is what this more aligns with what my vision is for myself. You know, I think it probably isn't a bad thing to help so many other people, but for me, I've been so far out of balance helping others that I don't help myself. I spend so much time making others look good that I don't invest it in making myself look good. And while people are thankful, their vision and their territory is expanded with my help, while mine still needs to be cultivated. So I had a thought about it. So when I come home from work, I would, maybe over the last few years, when I come home from work, I have this sort of routine. I go home from work. If I don't have any phone calls, I'll play VR, and I'll set a timer. And for those 45 minutes, I'm gaming. But then I said, you know what? Maybe God told me this. It's like, you're playing this too much. Look at how good you are at this game. You're typically always at the top of the scoreboard. You're obliterating the lobby. But imagine how good you would be at singing and playing the piano if you took that same focus and energy every day after work and put it towards your musicianship. If you put it towards your singing, your lyrics, production, all of that. How good would you be if you did that every day instead of playing VR every day? And it took a while, but as of February, I put my headset away, and I actually printed up a sign. I said, no VR for the month of February. We're out of February now, so if I wanted to play VR, I could, but I won't do the things that I need to do that will help expand my vision of my territory. You know, I've always been like a gamer, always found a way to game, but the problem is while I'm able to cultivate that skill, I'm not cultivating a musician skill. I do good, but I can do better, and I want to do better. I want to be able to play more songs. So imagine if I took a time every day after work to learn how to play songs better, to learn how how to memorize lyrics better, to learn how to sing better every day with that same energy that I gave to gaming. When I wake up on Saturday morning, before I start my day or clean, guess what? I got the headset on, I'm gaming. And I set a timer. All right, 45 minutes if we're having fun. And if I'm having fun, the timer will go off and I'll go play some more because I don't really got too much on the schedule for that day. So you can see how the skill set of that game can easily be built based upon just doing it every day, making it fun. So for me to improve as an artist, and that's the thing, I think that because I didn't have shows booked, I would then not rehearse, because like, why rehearse for shows if you're not even good at getting shows? And then when I finally get something, now I'm starting to get ready. Now I'm starting to rehearse. And by the time you book, it's too late. It's too late to start rehearsing. You need to be in a maintenance state all the time. You need to be rehearsing all the time. Find some way in your car or something, but you got to be rehearsing. And the thing is, because I have been gigging, it's put me at a better advantage to perform live. Like, I have way more confidence than I did 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, where I didn't really perform live. I performed in the studio most of the time, and my singing was decent, but there was more range and ability. And now it's like, okay, how do I train my voice? How do I get more stable? How do I increase my range and my endurance in singing? How do I do that? Well, you have to train that. You have to practice. I may have to buy a course on it. But and that's the thing, between the gaming and musicianships and singing and stuff like that, gaming is cool as entertainment, but I actually get paid for the music. I get paid through music, through the gift. And so for me, rehearsals, if you're serious about this stuff and you want to go to the next level, you have to rehearse. You have to practice, and you may have to exchange one thing for another. I may have to sacrifice my gaming practices or gaming addiction, whatever you want to call it, and make playing the piano the new. Now I've always played piano to the point where it's like, I'm good, but now I have to make an exchange. That's for what I do in my time, especially after work. So in this case, the exchange is to practice and play versus playing a video game, which I do enjoy. And I think there's room for that, but it has to be minimized, like 90%. And so while I won't have time to get good and dominate, I can enjoy the practice and the fun of it, or even the social aspect of it. So I think that's a good pivot. And like I said, I see the power of it. Lock myself in a room. And that's the thing, when you're gaming, you lock yourself in a room, or in my case, my living room, and it's just you and that thing you're interested in. And I want to just redirect that energy and that attention and that focus to my singing ability, to my musicianship. My gigging has helped me tremendously with that. But what I don't do is rehearse. What I don't do is learn lyrics every day. What I don't do is practice. And while I still have that time and that, I guess, peace of quiet, or, you know, the isolation that I have, I can see that the isolation is the perfect drafting ground to create what your vision is. It is a perfect, it doesn't get any better than that, as far as being able to focus on what you want to focus on, because there will be a time where I'll have to serve others. Not have to, but there'll be time where others will need my service. Spouse, children, someone. I will be called to serve somebody. In the cultivation of a new thing. But right now, if I look at it from a different perspective, this is the perfect opportunity to grow, to cultivate, to rehearse, to practice, to improve my skills as a musician and as a music producer and as a performer. Because I always believed I could perform, but I never rehearsed like I believed. So that's sort of the key thing. Yeah. All right, well, I'm about to go in here and flip the burgers. I'll see you later.